Welcome to the 5 Foot Viking podcast, everybody. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. This is kind of interesting. This is my first time doing an actual real podcast with a real human being in front of me that's not my wife. But before we jump into what we're talking about today, a couple things I just want to say. If this is your first time watching the 5 Foot Viking podcast, I want to say welcome. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. This is my fourth podcast, so this is very new and exciting to me. So I appreciate you being here. And if you've caught some of the previous podcasts and you've interacted and supported, my thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys jumping in here and having some fun with me. Before we jump into today, just a quick announcements. I'm working at putting the podcast on multiple platforms. So right now it's just up on Facebook and YouTube, but I'm looking at putting the audio podcasts up on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. So stay tuned for that. So hopefully in the future, that will be something interesting. And I just found out a few days ago that I am going to be making some merchandise that is going to be some 5 Foot Viking merchandise, which should be fun to get out to everybody and hopefully help support the channel just a little bit. And also, last but not least, thank you so much to International House of Music for all your help with the tech that I have here, and to Edgar Hernandez for helping me understand how to use it. I appreciate it. So I'd like to introduce to you guys my guest for this evening, my good friend, Javier Guerrero. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Put your hands together.
Thank you.
Javier, it's weird calling you Javier because I'm just so used to Javi. I've known you for almost 20 years now. And we met because your cousin is my drummer, Johnny Reyes.
Yeah.
And when's the first time that you actually came out and watched us play? I can't even remember. I don't even remember. I think it was Firehouse Grill.
I think it was.
Maybe, yes. And we're looking at early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at 2000.
Like 2000, 2001, something like that.
Right around then. Yeah.
And back in the day, so we became friends fairly quickly. And I knew that you were always doing real estate. And then in 2004, I got my real estate license because that was like the coolest thing that people could do at the time. So I got mine, and I had some fun, and I always looked up to you and asked you a lot of questions during that time. And if I'm not mistaken, that was our second business venture, because our first business venture was when you printed up a whole bunch of steel rod T-shirts. And
that's right.
And you were the guy at the gigs that would walk around with the backpack
Full of shirts and
yeah. Hey, you want to sling some shirts? You want some steel rod merchandise? You want some?
That's when you knew the real estate market was hard.
That was back. That's how you know it was hard, because when the professional real estate agent is slinging T-shirts.
No. The thing was I wanted one shirt, and I had to buy 40 of them.
Yeah.
And so I thought, why not? I'm sure I can find 39 other people that would want a shirt. But it took me like a year.
Yeah, I think you still have a few of them too.
I kept 3 for myself.
So me and Javi go way back, and I know that in the last 10 years or so, you have definitely separated yourself in the real estate market as an agent, as a broker, and every time I talk with you, you're helping people, you're closing deals, you're making money, you're being successful, you're helping other people become successful, and so it only felt right that when we're going to talk about real estate, I wanted to go to somebody that I know is credible with what we do. So when I met you, you were a real estate agent.
Correct.
But you're a real estate broker now. So
correct.
What's the difference between the two?
The real estate license, and when you're just a real estate agent, you work for a broker. The broker runs an office, and he is responsible for any licensees that are under his license and his guidance. So he's responsible. Everybody pays him a percentage, and he's basically the owner of the office.
Okay.
I wanted to do that. I thought, you know what? At one point, I want to have people working for me, and so I decided to venture off and get my broker's license. It's another test, and that testing is it's difficult. It's not real easy. It's a 5-hour test, and it's 2.5-hour increments.
Oh, geez.
And it's I believe it's 100 questions. So it's 100 questions for 2.5 hours. You go to lunch, then another 100 questions.
Now, is it the same as like a real estate license test? You can only miss like
Yeah, I
30?
believe it's 30.
Yeah.
You missed 30.
Okay. So you're a C student.
Yeah, I think I missed 29. None. But they don't tell you. They just tell you you passed. And I thought a bit realistically when I left there, I got 100.
Okay.
That's really how I felt.
I love it. Well, every time that I have had a conversation with you, you've always known what you're talking about. And what I respect probably the most is when you're not familiar with something, you literally tell me, you know what? I don't know about that. Let me find out,
Right.
and get back to me, which is pretty awesome. So, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Javier Guerrero, we're gonna move into once again my favorite segment of the podcast, where we get to drink some beer. So let's start off with Javi. Javi, here's a bottle opener for you. What are you drinking today? Let me pull it up here.
It's a North Coast Stout.
Javi is drinking a North Coast Brewing I can't say Rasputin Russian Imperial Stout, 9%, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't even need this. I forgot. I guess I should have done this earlier because it's a cork, so it takes a little bit longer. But I ran into this beer not too long ago. It's called Judgment Day. Let me throw this up for you guys. It's a Lost Abbey Judgment Day. This is a quad with raisins. Oh yeah. Oh, it just smells so good. This is definitely my favorite part of the podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are commenting, I just want to let you know, I'm gonna jump into it right now. I see a lot of you guys are jumping in there with your comments, and I'm so happy to see you guys on here. Looking forward to interacting with you guys and trying to answer some questions that we can. Now, that being said, we do want to be respectful to a little bit of our time, because I know that we can talk about real estate we can talk about one topic
Of real estate for hours. I know that we've stayed after some of your gigs and
talked for like 4 in the morning
Yeah.
about one
What time is
conversation.
it?
Yeah.
What time is it?
All right. So here is the skull. Skull at home. Oh yeah.
Wow.
This is a good. So how's your stout?
This is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to drive all over town for that. I'm just kidding.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth it. All right. Let's jump into a couple quick comments. Oh, we got a lot of people that want to say hi. Chuck, love you, Chuck. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Chuck.
Jen? Yes. Oh, the Javi whistle. It sounds so
Boy,
good on the microphone.
It does, right?
Albert, yes, I'm working on getting it on Spotify. Thank you. I appreciate that. We got a couple more. Skull. Yes.
My boy Jesse.
Yeah. Where's Jesse at?
Right here.
Jesse.
How you
What's
doing,
up, Jesse? Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Well, we got a lot of people. Edgar Hernandez. Bro, I can't thank you enough for all of your help, all of your guidance, your friendship. The only way that I am here doing this right now is because of that gentleman right there. Like in the past 2020, he schooled me, and we became much better friends. And I became a student, and such a great guy. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. We got my neighbor. Oh, I lost it. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of comments here. This is already great. See, we don't even have to have notes here.
No, just go off
This is my neighbor here, brother. Happy anniversary. Love you guys. Yes. Oh, thank you so much. I love Steel Rod too, and I absolutely miss playing with Steel Rod. Let's check out this one. This is a long comment. long time viewer, first time caller. I love that. That's awesome. I feel like one of those guys in the morning radio.
Hey, I'm just happy to be your second
This is
non-guest
awesome.
that's not
This is
related to
great.
you. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Love you, miss you guys. Hey, Javi, it's always a great part.
Oh yeah, Katie Jakes.
Katie Jakes. Yeah. Okay, we actually have a. Well, I guess we can dive into a quick question, real quick. How do you feel? How do you feel the exodus from California is going to affect real estate pricing for the next 2 years in California?
No, we're gonna
get to this. You know what? Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. We prepared some notes. We're going to try and go through as much as we can. And just fair warning, some of the questions we might be giving you guys some basic answers. But Javi is a professional, and he told me from the get. He said, if any of your listeners, if any of your viewers want to know more, feel free to email him, and he can dive in deeper into the conversation, into the questions. So I'm going to put this up the whole time. So you guys know this is Javi. This is his real estate license number and his email. So at any time during us, you can take a screenshot, take a picture. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Take a picture. But if you want to email him, and if we weren't able to dive into the question, you know, as deep as you wanted to hear, feel free to email Javi, and we can keep that going. So, a couple more.
My sister's at work.
I was watching from my desk. I love it. That's awesome. I love it. And then we got my dad. Love you, Dad. Thank you for tuning in with your vitamin water. I appreciate you. This is great. What's up? What's up, John? How are you, sir? I love this. We got a lot of great.
Clement, my
partner with real estate.
David.
How can we make that happen? Okay, Frank. We're getting into that as well. Yes.
Clement and David, my partners at EXP.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
excellent. And David.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.
High Desert.
I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Wow, this is great. We got a lot of good. I don't. What is this? Someone's talking about your tardiness.
My tardiness.
I don't know. I think you're late all the time.
I was actually 3 minutes early today.
I know you were actually 45 minutes early this time.
Actually, I was.
Okay, so you know what?
My sister-in-law.
Who we got
Francis. Here? Francis.
Oh, hi, Steph.
All Steph.
How are you?
Yeah.
Ciao. Like you're all bad,
right?
You think you're all bad. I know you do. Francis.
Yeah.
How are you, Francis? Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
My brother.
Happy New Year.
Good thing we have big families.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mexican and Mormon. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, big time. All right. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. There was we kind of structured our podcast to talk about two topics, jump into them a little bit, take some comments in between here and there, and see if we can make this happen and keep it under 17 hours. So
Yeah.
So the first topic that we were looking at was right about here, qualifying questions for an agent. And I know you had something to say. We talked earlier on this because in my views on this, it was just I would ask the question for any agent, but that's not true.
No. There's qualifying questions because there's agents that do, like if I needed a real estate agent to list my home and sell a home, then there's certain questions that I would go from there. And if you were looking for somebody to buy, then now you're asking a little bit different questions. And the reality is how comfortable do you feel? You know, mm-hmm. if you're working with me and I'm providing answers, giving you answers, or actually giving you answers to questions you don't know. Let's say you're a first-time home buyer, and I'm giving you the answers to questions you don't know what to ask me.
Yeah.
And so it's my job to be educated enough to say, you don't know about this, but let me tell you about this. And that's what's going to allow you to make decisions as the process goes along. Mm-hmm. And the more you're educated to me, it makes it easier in a sense for you to make a decision, but this isn't the first house I'm going to sell you. I'm going to sell your other houses, and I want you to be have an understanding of the process and where you're at on it.
So what kind of questions would you feel are good qualifying questions for someone if you wanting to become the listing agent? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I know this isn't something we talked about earlier. I'm going off script, bro.
You are. I mean, realistically, you can go off how many transactions, what company, in a sense, not what company you're with, but who do you work with? How do you get your buyers? How are you going to advertise my property? What makes you different from the other guy that's going to come either after me or before
What
me?
sets you apart?
Right. And we have me personally, I have an 18-step process from the beginning. From this is what we do when we take your listing. This is the process as we're going to go. And the very last one is we're going to get you a check to either to sell your home, or we're going to give you the keys of your new home. And those are the steps that we go in. As far as, the questions are basic. Most people say the same thing. How many houses have you sold in the area? What business have you done locally?
Yeah.
And in that sense, with the internet, like we were talking about that.
Yeah.
The internet makes me a local agent anywhere. My experience allows me to look at a property, doesn't matter where you're at, and I can analyze the numbers and analyze that, and I could be a local agent within 15 minutes because I'm going to understand what's going on in the market.
But not everybody can do that.
No.
Literally, your experience has and the the hard work and effort that you put in for the last 20 plus years has grown you to the agent where you can do that. Not everyone.
No, and that's it. If I'm doing transactions, and I learn every transaction, I try to learn something every transaction, and that's kind of where we're at. The fact that I'm with other agents and we do work together and we share our experiences, what's going on in our transactions, that allows me to have a better focus and a better handle on what might be thrown at us. And my job as an agent, whether I'm representing a buyer, whether I'm representing a seller, is to have you avoid the pitfalls that can happen and help control the stress of the transaction. It's stressful. Moving is stressful.
Yeah.
And if anybody's moved, you know that.
Me and my wife, we moved like 9 times in 5 years. Like I'm just kidding. We didn't move that many times, but like for the beginning part of our relationship, we were moving like every time that they gave us a new lease.
Yeah.
Oh, rent went up. Well, looks like we're moving.
Yeah, we're out. $25. No way. Yeah. And so my job is to take some of that stress away, if not all of it, pretty much most of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I get paid for. I get paid for handling the transaction. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would think, there isn't really a specific question that you might ask. It's how do you feel? Because when you meet somebody, I know you're a good people person like me. You know when something's not right. It doesn't take you long. It doesn't matter what I'm going to say, what question you ask me. You either already accept it.
Vibe.
Yeah, you get the vibe. Yeah, hey, this guy's going to help me.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we have conversations where maybe you don't have to sell. And there's not a lot of agents that are brave enough to say that either. But the fact that you're able to say it to somebody,
I think it just goes up to integrity and honesty.
Sure.
If you have that and you're not out for the money, you're out there to really truly
to
help.
do it right. Yeah, to do this right, to help you.
Yeah.
Because that's why you come to me. We were talking earlier. If I wasn't in real estate, man, I don't even know who I would choose. Not that the I see what goes on behind the scenes with other agents and all that, and it just sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you wonder, like, who would you really choose and how would I do it? But I'm in the industry, and that really does help.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I share it. That's why I'm here. And before we go forward anymore, I just want to tell you that you doing this podcast I think it's great. I think the fact that you do meet people from, all life, so all walks of life, And the fact that you're sharing what you know because of what you met with, when you met somebody, this is what I heard, this is what it
Yeah.
just made sense. And the fact that you're sharing it with everybody, I think
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
is a good thing.
That's literally why we're here. In this last year, it's been kind of rough on musicians, and just trying to find another stage until my stage comes back. But
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. And anybody that's at home, if you guys are, I know that we're just kind of having a little conversation. Let me jump back into some of these comments. Let's see. We got. Oh, he's Johnny's cousin. Of course, he's late. That's awesome. My Mr. Schlitt, this is my how are you, sir? My 6th grade drama teacher. Love you. Thank you for always tuning in. Appreciate you. Let's see. Maurice, I love you, buddy. Man, I miss you. Maurice and I go back 20 years as well. He was we met the Lighthouse Cafe in Hermosa Beach. You remember?
Yeah.
Way back in the day. Way back in the day. And Mo came up and sang with us a couple times. He got this beautiful low voice. I can't even do it. It's this low voice. I can't. I'm not privileged enough to have that low voice, but man, he sang great. And then just recently, Mo went out and got his real estate license. I know he's doing some stuff. I'm not sure if Mo. Please comment again. Are you in the South Bay? Let us know what you're up to as well. 18 steps. Yeah. Actually, Mo, I'm going to connect you guys. I'm going to connect you guys because Mo's a great guy. Great guy.
And one thing that I do, and when I was just getting in the business, I had a lot of top agents that helped me. They always had the open door policy, and I give back. That's how I give back. They did it for me, and I don't have Mo. Yeah, reach out to me.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing what I got going on. One guy told me, I'll share everything with you because you still have to do it.
Yeah. You still got to do the work.
You still got to put the work in.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's rough.
Yeah. I'll give you everything. What are you going to do with it?
All right, cool. And also at home, if you guys have any questions on the topic that we're talking about, or even off topic, we're just here to kind of jump back and forth between there and here. See what we can accomplish. I know there was a comment earlier or a question earlier that we can probably jump into right now. Let's go back up to Frank. Frank, me and Frank know each other from Katie Jakes in Covina, and just recently, if I'm not mistaken, Frank, you moved up to, is it Wisconsin or Minnesota? It's one of the coldest places you can ever go to. I know he moved up there just recently. Hope you're doing okay. His question is, and forgive me, I am horrible at reading, so I'm going to try and read this. It's going to be horrible. But question for Javi. How do you feel the exodus from California is going to affect real estate pricing for the next year or two in California? And how do you feel it'll affect the agents themselves, an influx or not in the amount of agents?
Well, I was talking about that with my coach today.
I love that you have a coach. I love that.
Me too. She's actually happy that I'm doing this.
That's so cool.
Is
she watching? She better be watching.
She might be. But we were talking about what 2020 brought, and you and I were talking about that.
Yes.
If you didn't learn anything during the time that you were cooped up in your house and didn't take advantage of the time that we had in either reading, listening, and doing anything, or making yourself better, just even in our own profession, I feel like I'm the steel rod of real estate agents, because I know that you guys practice and practice and practice, and that's what I do, and I do that. The agents that don't practice that and sharpen their knives, their skills, and sharpen the blade and do that, yes, they're gone. And so the ones that are left are the ones that know how to sell, the ones that know what they're doing, and the ones that are going to be more informative to the consumer. And that's what I feel. I'd rather have that, because if I'm representing a buyer or I'm representing a seller, I want that other agent that writes that offer to know what's going on, to know what they're doing. And me personally, if I get a vibe that that agent doesn't know what they're doing, then I help them. Because why? If it's a good offer that comes in, I don't think that my client should suffer just because that real estate agent doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. And if I can help them and make them a better agent, then the next
It's better
time,
for the industry.
right? I mean, you're going to have more integrity. They're going to be better. And then the next time I have a deal, or that guy might have a listing that my buyer wants, and he's going to remember what I did for him, and he's going to accept my offer over another offer. Because we never know who we're going to run into in this business.
Yeah.
We don't, you know. And that's when you see the numbers of real estate agents, you know, dropping off. We need that every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, when the market is where you could put a sign up and it sells. You know, do you really have to be?
That's exactly why I got mine. Like, I mean,
you could be a musician / realtor.
I'm gonna be real with you, dude. Like,
realtor.
I was a musician, and you know, and the market was really good. Everybody homes were. It was if I'm not mistaken, it was a seller's market because anyone could come in and they would have 5 more offers, you know, on the table, but more than what it appraised for. And this is back in 2004, and so I jumped. I'm like, hey, you know, this seems like a good idea. I'm working at night. Might as well get my real estate license and do something during the day. So I went out. I got my license. I learned about it. I ended up getting a job at Century 21 Masters in Walnut with Neil Schwartz, and I'll never forget because that gentleman is he's a cool. You've worked with him as well.
I was there too.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Man, I just learned so much from him when in my short time in the business. But I think that was probably my first turning point when it came to like personal growth, because they turned me on to like the Tony Robbins. Back then there were cassettes, or I think I had CDs. I actually had CDs, so that was good. But that was kind of my first, introduction to personal growth and learn time management, things like that. Because I'm a rock star, dude. Like I don't wake up at 7 unless I'm surfing. Like
That's not gonna happen.
So, so when I was one of those real estate agents who got my license, jumped in, sold a few homes, did a couple deals, couple referrals, things like that, and after about, I want to say 9 months or so. It was about 9 months that I was really working it. And I was like, this is just not for me. I couldn't hang. I was one of the washouts that
took a listing from me. No, and that's okay. I mean, that's gonna happen. And the numbers that we take on as real estate agents when we set our goals and do that, we take that into consideration. There's always going to be those listings that we don't get. Yeah. But our job is to go in and make it happen. So if during that time you would have had a buyer and you came to me, I would have helped you. Yeah. I would have helped you get through it because I want to educate you and make sure that it all gets done. I got an offer accepted on a lease. I did a lease for somebody, and I actually wrote the whole lease. I did everything because the agent wasn't calling me back, and I wrote everything. I did everything. I had all the papers signed, and I had my client sign everything, and I sent her all the paperwork. And I got it. Oh. Yeah, I got it. But you know what? I have to come up with. How am I going to set myself apart from anybody else? Where everybody else was sending her an application. No, I sent the application. I sent everything. I sent the whole package. I did all the disclosures. I did everything. I sent it all together. What's she going to say? Oh, we just tell our client, hey, all you got to do is sign.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Right. Yeah, I need an assistant. Right? I don't know.
Let's jump up to an off-topic question. How does Javi feel about the Astros?
Oh, you know what? I think that's Izzy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that's Izzy. He's out in Hawaii. Yeah. He likes. Well, I mean, he did ask the question. Like, you know,
I don't like the Astros.
Okay, I kind of figured. And then we got Mo. Appreciate you, my friend. Absolutely, we will definitely connect. South Bay.
South Bay.
Okay. Okay, I love it. I love you, buddy. Absolutely.
I have some business out there, Maurice. Maybe we can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I love about this is just, you know, being able to give, information, connect people. That's kind of what I loved about being on stage, was being able to connect people.
Right.
And it's, so this is kind of cool that this is happening.
And it's a little bit different now. When I was now I'm at EXP,
Okay.
and EXP is a family, and we don't look at other real estate agents as competition. We don't. We all work together. We all want the same goal. We all want to get it done at EXP. I was 17 years at Remax in Covina, and then I was with Neil Schwartz for 8 years at Century 21, and I've been at EXP for a year. Actually, in May it'll be a year. But the culture that they've created is like, Maurice, I'll work with you. Let's make it happen. And our goal is to, if we can work together, why not?
Yeah.
It's not a competition anymore.
Is it more EXP versus Remax or Century 21? Now, I'm not talking about the actual people that are in there, but is it more of a cutthroat?
At EXP?
No. At other.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It is. At EXP, it's a different culture. And
Is the industry more of a? Is it pretty cutthroat?
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Unfortunately, it is. When someone joins our office now, their production is directly related to what we're doing, and it's a revenue share kind of thing.
Okay.
And so it works out. So you have a lot of these big producer guys now coming over to EXP and bringing over their guys, and everybody's helping each other out.
That's cool.
And you could do that. Annabelle, who commented on multifamily, we have a commercial division that is at our fingertips, and it just makes it that much easier. As a matter of fact, I have a warehouse to lease. I just listed.
Really?
Yeah, in Pico Rivera.
Well, I do need an area for my podcast.
Yeah, so
Because I'm literally here in my
warehouse.
living/dining room, which is kind of funny that we were talking about this earlier, that like I can't wait to see where this goes. And to be honest, if the 5-foot Viking goes nowhere, I'm okay with that. But I'm gonna give it a fair shake and have some fun with it this year. And it's humble beginnings, learning the microphones and everything, and sitting down and talking about stuff,
Yeah.
and trying to cultivate a good show and good content. And let's just take a screenshot today, and we'll take a screenshot in a year from now, and see where we're
it
at.
is.
Hopefully, I'll be in that warehouse that you're leasing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
we got my little brother up in northern Utah. What's up, bro? Hey, Javi. Great question, Frank. Also, what are the best RE investment markets in California looking forward over the next 5 to 10 years, and what platforms? What do you think?
The best investments in California? Yeah, that's tough. Most of the investors, I shouldn't say most. It depends on what your bankroll is.
Okay.
Where are you?
Well, here, this is a good follow-up from CG. Are available for new investors.
Oh, okay, available for new investors. So it depends on what you're looking at as far as return is concerned. There's some investors that want a higher return, so they're going to want to get into the property for less money. So their return on investment, ROI, is more. And so when they do that, it's going to take longer to find that one property. But if your return on investment's a little bit lower as a new investor, yeah, more than likely you're gonna buy and hold that property where you can collect the rents, because the rents in California are pretty high.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
if
I
you're-
know.
Yeah.
I live here.
So as a new investor, we would actually sit down and let's analyze, where do you want to be, and at what time frame do you want to get to it, and then we can kind of set it up. I do work with a lot of investors, and I have different ranges.
Yeah.
Different ranges, different ages, different bankrolls,
Yeah.
and different situations.
So you're able to find the right thing for them.
Yeah. And I'm able to put them into a category where I think, okay, cool, this is what's going to work for you right now. Let's make this happen.
Okay. Sweet.
And it might lead you outside of California.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my brother's in Utah, so
Yeah.
and Boris, we got Boris in the house. Love you, buddy. Protect your investment. Yes, just saying. So Boris is now working. It has actually been an agent for life insurance for a while now. He's been doing really, really good in the last couple of years. Love it too because the dude is like, he's like death metal, and he's got long hair, and he's like so into like music, and he's Venezuelan, and I love his accent, and he's such a cool dude. But then he's like really professional when it comes to selling life insurance, and I'm like, wow, no way, that's like you like two different worlds. But I'm talking with Boris about possibly having him on the podcast and talking about the importance of life insurance as well, moving forward, because I think I think more information for everybody is probably better than not.
I see that all the time. I see that when I look at properties or somebody tells me, hey, what do you think? I'm going to sell my mom's house, and let's say that particular house, is not in a trust, and they're, I mean, going through probate and doing all that, which is a whole nother subject. But I always tell people, spend the money, get a trust, put it in there.
Love you, Boris. Let's look at a couple of other ones. Here we go. Great job. See, you know what?
Lemon.
You're badass, bro. You're celebrity now.
Thank you.
Love to meet up. Yes, absolutely. Yes, knowledge is power. 100. That's what I mean. Listen, I don't have a whole lot of it, but what little bit I do have, I'm trying to put something together where we have the opportunity to give something back.
Right.
Have a good conversation.
And just like me having a coach, just like me doing my scripts, even around the house, and my wife looking at me just talking to myself, or trying to just kind of go over situations, or even reading. I mean, I would probably say more than half of the realtors that have never read the whole contract.
Oh yeah, that's legit.
Never. And to me, every time something comes out, if I'm going to ask you to sign it, I better know what's on there. I read it, and then I'll give you the highlights, because it's going to take it forever. I think you said the contract was,
if I'm not mistaken, back in 2004, the contract was 6 pages.
6 pages. It's 10 now. Yeah.
Wow.
It's 10 with a bunch of add-ons.
Well, you think about it. I mean, for the most part, anybody who buys a home, this is, I mean, pretty much the biggest, most expensive purchase you're going to make in your life, right, for the most part. Right. Some people excluded, that buy big ass jets or whatever. I don't know, but like for the regular Joe, for the regular wit, for the regular Viking,
right,
I'm buying a house. That's probably the biggest purchase I'm going to make in my life.
Right. So, buying and selling.
Yeah.
Buying and selling. I mean, you're entrusting me with the biggest sale.
Yeah.
Because hopefully you're selling.
I don't
it for
understand
more
that
than
contract, and there might be something in there that I didn't read, and I don't understand, and all of a sudden I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't have a roof? Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, and you would question. I think you would probably question a situation or agents that will and don't tell you everything. Or like, hey, wait a minute, that didn't happen, or I should have known something. My friend talked about this happened to his house, and if you don't feel comfortable, again, that's when you'll have a feeling that didn't sound right, because I heard this from my friend, and this happened, or my friend told me to ask this, and everybody's different. We talked about that. Every transaction is different. Your house is different than your neighbor's. Your sale, your loan, your interest rate, all that, and I think it's important to have the knowledge of what you're doing. My business, I need to know it.
Here's a really good question I just saw right now. If I'm not mistaken, this is family.
Yeah.
What do you suggest first-time buyers? She
forgot first.
First-time buyers should do first before looking for a house. What's the first thing that they should do?
The very first thing is to be qualified. To get qualified from a loan officer. My loan officer is my brother.
Okay.
30 years he's in the business.
And if I'm not mistaken, you started by doing loans, correct?
I did. I did loans for 6.5 years. And that actually helps me when I write offers or when I accept an offer on the listing. it helps me, say, hey, what's he doing here? Or how is he being qualified? Or how is this happening if he's, his numbers don't match? And it helps me a lot, to put it together.
So step one, talk to a loan officer.
Talk to a loan officer. Yeah. What we do, my brother and I work together, and what we do is, if somebody, even if you're not looking for a house, and you thought, you know what, maybe in like 2 or 3 years I might want to buy something, then just get qualified. And my brother will tell you, hey, this is what it would cost you. This is how much money you need to make. This is how much debt you have to have. And then this is how many credit cards and open accounts you need to have. Because some people don't have any credit. And that's not good either. So if I can catch you before you've saved your money or before you asked for that promotion.
Oh, you could guide them.
I can guide you
to a better.
that. Exactly. And that's our goal. So my brother and I, it's funny because we plant so many of those seeds that as the year goes on, I'll get a call and they'll say, hey, Javier, I talked to you like 3 years ago and I had a BK and I did this and I did that, just like you told me, and I'm ready to go. And that happens all the time. So
how good of a feeling is that?
It's great. It's great. And those eggs hatch.
That's so
all year
cool.
long.
That is so cool.
That's
freaking awesome. I love that. I love that. So first time home buyers, the best thing for you to do first, get qualified. Even if you're looking at in the next couple of years, take a snapshot of where you're at today.
Right.
Find out where you're at today. You don't know, and then find out where you need to be. So, and then that just helps you set goals and move forward and get to that place where you want to be.
And that's the best way of doing it, because if not, you're going to come to a point in your life where you're like, I need to buy a house. And they're like, yeah, well, you need to do this. Now you got to wait 3 years. Man, if you would have done that 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now today that you decided that would be a good time. Now you would be.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to go off script for a second. Right. Now, for those of you guys at home, me and Javi, we had a chat yesterday kind of talking about what we wanted to talk about, because we want to be respectful of time, and right now we've been going for 42 minutes.
No.
And we've only talked about one topic. But on the real, you brought something up that just it just kind of hit home. And when you said, like, we talked about taking the screenshot, seeing where you're at, knowing where you want to get, so you can make goals and do that. With regards to 2020 and what it's the havoc that is it's put on a lot of people financially, especially for, and I'm talking about this for specifically me, but anybody else that's out there that has that is an entrepreneur, someone that is a 1099 income person, somebody that has lost their job and lost their income and lost, like, maybe we were on the road to getting to the place we wanted to be. So 2020 kind of is a big speed bump in the road. What would you recommend moving forward? How do we recover from this? And because bottom line is, someone like me, I have to prove my income in order to approve for a loan, in order to get to the point where I'm like, so I know we're getting a little bit really far off topic, but if you can give me just the cookie cutter answer to that, like.
The reality is that 2020 is going to be an exception to pretty much everything. That's what I feel. I mean, nobody has control of, what, I had COVID, I was in a hospital, I did this.
Yeah.
But everybody has an explanation. And it doesn't even need to be 2020. It could have been before 2020, right? What I always suggest is go backwards. Like, if your credit was messed up before COVID or anything like that, and you had an issue or a situation, get a timeline down, write your story, and the lenders will look into that. They can make some exceptions and get an understanding of really what's going on. And they're not going to expect, oh, yeah, well, you should have worked. Well, yeah.
Well, I wanted to.
Yeah, but nobody could show up, and that was the thing. So there's going to be, I'm sure they haven't done it yet because we're not out of it yet. But there's going to be a scenario in regards to that.
I love this. Boris? Yeah. I wish I knew about this when I was a kid.
Well, it's funny. At West Covina High School, they do have a career day. and I've done it the last couple of
Really?
times. Yeah.
It's like you roll in and talk about
I roll
financing.
in, I talk about real estate.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
And it's great. It's great. And I've always said I need to go in. I talked to my guys, about the baseball players and all that when I was coaching, and they need to know, because what do I do with my credit? What do I do? What are these kids? They don't know. There is no.
I messed up my credit so bad when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I thought it didn't mind. I had no idea how important it was. I had no idea. I got a loan, and I was like, cool, I got a loan. That's awesome. Okay. And then I didn't pay it back, and I got creditors calling. I'm just like ignoring all the numbers, because back then my cell phone was like the size of a brick. Like it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. $2 a minute.
Oh, I had AirTouch. That's how old I am. Okay, I had AirTouch phone, and this thing was like a big brick. And anyways, I was avoiding phone calls and stuff, and then it demolished me, and it took forever. It took years to get me back into the 600s. It took forever to get back up in there.
Yeah.
And then moving forward from that, I don't think that I totally agree with Boris, where stuff like this. Credit scores, finances, personal finance. It needs to be taught in high school.
Yeah, but people don't realize that, like your phone bill that was knocking your credit score down. If it's there and that's the only thing on your credit every time, then it's never going to help it.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, well, you're going to get into that with the lending when you when you interview the lender. But,
Oh, and just a quick heads up to everybody that's watching. I had a lot of people that were sending me questions, which were more questions geared towards loans and being approved, and things like that, which Javi does know a lot about that stuff. But because Javi is an agent broker, I wanted to keep this podcast a little bit more geared towards that. But I will follow up with all of you who sent me messages regarding the lending side, because in I don't know if it'll be a month or maybe a little bit further out. I do have a lender that's going to be on my show, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into those questions on that podcast.
yeah.
But if you're looking for an answer to, please, Javi's email is down there at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to message him, send him a smoke signal, and an email, and a pigeon.
Yeah. Because there is ways. There is ways. I mean, and people need to know that there is ways to get your score up. You know,
absolutely.
And that's what we want.
And I love that my sister jumped up on here. This is my sister Shivani.
There you go, Shivani.
There will be products and programs that roll out to assist in post.
Right.
Absolutely.
There
Now,
you go.
my sister is a lending officer in. She works out of Southern Utah and in Vegas. So she has two markets that she does. She's been doing it for, God, I don't know. How many years have you been doing that, Shivani? I don't even know. It's pretty awesome to see.
Alex Aguayo, brother.
Alex, what's up? How are you, man? Hey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you.
One of my customers.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you read this because I need to practice reading.
No, you read it.
All right, here we go. Watch this. Watch me mess this up. What's up, guys? Javi and his brother helped us tremendously as a first-time home buyer. As a 1099 self-employed, I assumed it would be a struggle, but with their advice and guidance, they got us into our home. Best advice is to hit him up and see where you're at. Great job, Wit and Javi, and sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
Alex, brother, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I love that, because I was actually in your position before. I'm actually still kind of in it, and like being a 1099 income person, I've always felt like it's just, especially like California, when with California prices, I just feel like I'm up against a tsunami of a wall. I'm up against this wall that, like, there's nothing I can do to do this.
And there's ways. I mean, think about it. There's people that come from other countries. There's people that come from other states where they don't get paid what they were doing in California, and they've advanced and they've taken it, but they've had a plan.
Yeah.
And that's why the game plan to have it set up to get qualified, and this is what I'm going to do.
It's the most important
and that's
thing.
the most. It's it's a map.
Yeah.
What happens when you don't know where you're going? You're just going to, but now.
But isn't that everybody in LA? Like, nobody knows where they're
Nobody
going.
knows,
That's
yeah.
why everybody's in front of me. Like, I'm like, get out of the way.
Yeah,
Like,
and it is. It's
All right, you know what? Let's move on to the second topic. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
An hour later.
I know, right? I don't even know where we did. We go to the second topic. I think we did. We talk about. Actually, I think this is
We almost started it.
California. I don't even know if we got to this. We jump around so much. I'm not sure if we actually talked about this or not. If we did talk about this, or if I did put this topic two up, please
I don't think we did.
let me know. I don't think we did either. So, I came up with this one, and it's funny because the podcast changed, because originally I wanted to be like the change my mind guy. Like I want
I like that guy.
we talked about that, and it was like, because in my situation with me and my wife and our furry babies, we were looking at out of state, and it made and to us, just in our minds, it makes more sense to go to Las Vegas or Texas or Antarctica, or like anywhere that's not California, because California is just kind of crazy, and that's just where our heads are at. Now, that's not everyone, and it doesn't necessarily work for everyone. But my question to you was, with California prices getting pretty aggressive, they're definitely getting aggressive. How difficult is it for your job when you see like the Cal exit happening? There's a lot of people that are kind of bouncing out.
Yeah.
Or do you see people bouncing out of the state, or maybe bouncing to a different county?
Well, the difference is again, what's your plan? So, as an example, let's say someone says, "Oh, you know what? Let me get qualified. Oh, I only qualify for 200,000. The houses where I live are 600, 550." And we're like, "Oh, great. Okay, well, you could, if you decide now that you qualify for something."
Yeah.
So there's houses in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and you could buy, let's say in Oklahoma, an $80,000 house in Oklahoma, save 20%.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 16 grand.
Yeah.
20% of a $500,000 house is 100,000. Can you save 16 or can you save 100?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's easier to save the 16.
Now that's 20%.
20%.
Now, but are there I know we talked about first-time homebuyer programs with like 3%, 5%.
And they have options, and again, you'll bring that up during the loan process. But the first time home buyer, there isn't, let's say, anything that has a title that is a first time home buyer.
Yeah.
The first time home buyer program that almost everybody uses is an FHA loan.
Okay.
And FHA is the Federal Housing Administration, and they guarantee the loan. They don't do your loan, they guarantee it. So if you don't pay it, they pay the bank back.
Oh.
So that guarantee for that type of loan is the lowest, is 3.5% down payment.
Yeah.
And then your closing costs run at about 3%. That's it. So 6.5% down. Where you're looking at a $500,000 house, it's 30 grand.
Still, yeah. It's exactly. And that's my question, because California,
Well, so what happens is that there's a program called CalHAFA.
you got like 1-bedroom places for 500,000. Like,
But see, CalHAFA will give you the 3.5% down. And again, that I'm not the lender.
yeah.
But,
No, I
but,
appreciate you.
just number wise.
I ask because I know that you know a little bit.
Yeah.
So
And so the client now is helped with that other 3.5%, and there's no payments on it. You don't have to pay it back unless you sell it or refinance, and that allows you to come in with just your closing costs.
So California is doing something to help
They
out
are.
with the astronomical prices
Yes.
that are happening.
They're
Now, are
happening.
you finding that because from what I see on social media and stuff, there's a lot of people that are Cal exit. There's a hashtag with it, like Cal exit. People are bouncing out, and that might be political. That might be financial. That there might be multiple reasons for that. But from a real estate perspective, are you seeing is that a problem?
What I see it from on the real estate side is that most of these houses, that's even right here in where we live, West Covina,
Yeah.
those houses were built in the 50s.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that when our parents bought there,
Yeah.
they were in their 20s and 30s. Okay,
Yeah.
so now those parents are 80, hitting 80, hitting 90, and the kids are Well, you know what? They went to Florida to work because there's no state tax, or Tennessee, or
Yeah.
and they went to take advantage of that situation. So now the parents stayed here, and they paid that loan off and did that. So now this house is sitting there with no loan, no nothing. The parents bought it off. They paid it off, and then the kid now inherits the house because something, the parents pass away or whatever, and they're selling that house out. Let me cash out.
Yeah.
And they want the most that they can for it without even fixing it. Most of
Without doing anything.
and that situation is happening more and more because the younger generation has already taken a job in Tennessee, Colorado, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So those you have to take a whole lot into consideration.
And that's one thing that we talked about earlier is that like no one person has the same situation.
No.
I can tell you everything about my story and it doesn't match anybody else's story.
Yeah.
So, it might make sense for me to bounce out, but it might make sense for me to stay here. And that's why I wanted to talk with you because I know I want to talk with a professional who knows about this market, about these prices.
But let's say that scenario. Let's say you saved the one about, let's say you bought a house in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And you saved 16 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they helped you with your closing costs.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have one house and you pay that out and you're paying it.
Yeah.
You could rent that for $750.
Absolutely.
Right. And your payment on that would be about $350, and then your property management fee, so $400. So you might be making $300. But
Even if I'm breaking even, it's paying for itself.
It is. Do that 4 times.
Fuck.
Right. Do that 4 times. So then at one point you sell those properties and then bring that money back to California.
And get my place.
Correct. Because now you're paying California dollars on an Oklahoma property. Right? And when you do that, we strategically do. That's what I do with a lot of my investors. That's what we do, and that's our goal to try and make that happen. And we put that in a college town. Mm-hmm. So when we do that, you can even take that same house and say, the rent's $750, but it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Rent each bedroom for $500 and charge the parents, not the students.
Yeah.
And those parents are going to pay you $1,500 every month. $1,500.
Okay, we need to have a conversation after this.
There's a whole lot to it, but you got to have somebody who's doing it and somebody who has the experience to do that. Because why would I, you'll never buy a house in California.
No.
Unless let's anchor yourself somewhere and make that happen.
Yeah.
And then you can bring that money back.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mind just went
right
like that.
There's a whole lot to it.
So, and I know that we touched on a lot of stuff right now. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, please email Javi, shoot him an email. Let him know that you were watching the 5 Foot Viking and talking about some, real estate and ask him your question. And I know Javi will get back to you 100%. Let's jump into a few more comments real quick.
And I apologize if I was talking fast, but I'm just passionate
about
it.
I love it. It's so cool, dude.
And like I told you, every time I sell a home or every time a buyer comes in, I do it as if it was me buying it. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't tell you to do something that I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And that's the whole process.
I love this. We got some people commenting right now. Mo, love you, buddy.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Out of state, man. I'm telling you.
We got my buddy Flacco. As far away as I can from hearing Whit Morrissey singing. You know what? I should have policed myself before I put the comment up because I was like super excited to see his
Flacco,
his name. And then, I put it up and I was like, I love you, dude. And then when I see what he wrote, I just so disappointed in you, Flacco. I love you, bro, but damn it.
Ramon.
Ramon, where's Ramon?
Yeah, but you're not gonna move to Oklahoma. You're just gonna let the students pay for you.
That's true. There's ways of doing that.
All I know is my daughter went to college in Nashville.
Yeah.
And they didn't ask her to sign a lease. It was me signing it.
Oh.
I was paying the $500.
So you were paying it.
Yeah. But that's everybody.
Yeah.
That's everybody because everybody and $500 to keep your student in school is cheap.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah. Or just say you had to house your dog.
I mean,
You ever
I
try
don't
to see
know.
those?
I got a house myself. Like, I'm in school right now. I'm going to the information. Stay safe. Take care, sir. Skull. I
Skull.
Yes, Skull. Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate you. I just know that I'm in school at Arizona State University online.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
no, it's not fun. I'm taking a bunch of classes
I
that I'm just
couldn't
not
do it.
happy
I
with.
could not
And
do it.
but I mean, here's the thing. I'm close to a bachelor's, and it's like I'd be the first person in my family to have a bachelor's, so I'm kind of, I don't know. If I can be an example to my nieces and nephews,
Why not? Yeah.
why not? You know, I'm close enough.
Yeah.
I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone. So okay, real quick. You know what? We are going to go a little bit over on the time. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay. Let me see about Frank. Frank, ladies and gentlemen, Frank, the gentleman who designed the 5-foot Viking
Oh,
logo.
nice.
That's
sweet.
Designed the whole logo. It's did a great job. It looks like a shield.
Yeah.
It's like the T, the 5-foot Viking. Love it. Thank you, buddy. Plan to move. Plan to move from cryptocurrency to real estate. I like that. I like it. Okay, you know what? Email Javi. This is your guy.
Yeah. There's a lot to it. Let's do it.
And my gorgeous wife. You're sharing your knowledge, Javier.
Oh, you're welcome.
Absolutely.
Are you in the green room, Marty?
Yeah, she's in the green room because crazy Uncle Wit. Keep going, brother. I love you, sis. Yeah, my wife is in the green room because we were just talking about humble beginnings.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a good time. So we're gonna go a little bit over if you guys are still down to hang out with us. We have let me get over here to the banners. We have Instagram questions.
Oh,
okay.
good.
These are some questions that I got. I put up, and honestly, if you're on Instagram, please follow me. I'm unable to stream on Instagram, but I do have a link to my YouTube, and I do put up promotional material and clips as well on my Instagram page, which is the 5-foot Viking on Instagram. So please follow me over there, and so I got some questions I put up on a story. What would you ask a professional real estate agent? And I got some great, interesting questions. So
right.
The first one is, what percentage do you knock off if someone gets murdered in the home you sell? Which I think is a fantastic question. So your thoughts on that? How much money would you knock off? Is there a number?
There is no number. There's some people who don't care.
But do you have to, is that something that you have to disclose?
Yes. Well, yes. There's a 3-year.
Okay.
Anything within the 3-year period.
Okay.
If it's within 3 years, yes. But something like that, even if it was 6 years, 10 years, and you knew about it,
Let them know.
let them know. Just because you don't want to get close to the end and then have them find out and then cancel.
Yeah.
Your seller won't be happy. And
So there's no like actual percentage that's like set in stone where it's like, someone died, that's 10% off.
No, actually that happened in a transaction that I had.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, it was a house. I thought it was pretty low, and it was a nice house when we went to see it. We were the first ones to see it.
Okay.
My clients really liked it. We wrote the offer, or he's like, "Go, let's write the offer." I said, "Cool." I'm driving away, and I see these kids on the skateboard, and I'm like, "Hey, what's the story on this house right here?" And the kids are, "Oh man, you should have seen it, man. The guy, he accidentally killed his wife. Is what happened there."
What?
Yeah, and yeah, he ended up calling like the family and told them what happened accidentally, and he offed himself. And the bank ended up taking the house back.
No
yeah, and so
way.
it came up as a bank-owned property, and in that case, in a bank-owned situation, the bank doesn't have to disclose because they don't live there. So they're exempt from that.
Oh.
So
Did
they
you
didn't know
tell
that.
the?
Oh yeah, I googled it. I found the story. I sent it to my clients. I'm like, hey, this
Just
is
just a heads.
yeah. So
Just a
it's
heads up.
just giving you a heads up. This is what happened, and the guy's like, I don't care. I like it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and so we closed it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But
there
you
you
just
go.
never know.
There's one. Second question is: do agents always get 3%?
Oh, they always want to.
They
No,
always want, they always want to.
it's kind of a case by case,
Yeah.
situations, what we're doing. It's negotiable, but depends on, there's what we call, or what's known as discount brokers, where some companies say, cool, all I'm going to do is put a sign out. And like, that's it, and they don't tell you the pitfalls. And
Yeah.
when we take listings, we tell you the positives about it. And then we also tell you the negatives about,
Okay.
reduced commissions.
And also, anybody at home, if you want, because with these Instagram questions, we're just going to go real quick on them. But if you want to know more about it, please feel free to email Javi, and he'll dive in deeper. But
And that the reality is what price do you have it at? What's the location and what are the terms of it? Like how fast do you need to move it?
yeah.
So a lot of different factors come into it.
Okay.
So
Okay. And then the final Instagram question that I picked is: what is the real benefit of being a first-time home buyer?
you get in.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to add to this.
Okay.
What's the real benefit of being a first-time home buyer for you? You're the guy that's I'm a first-time home buyer. What's
Oh.
the benefit?
Well, first-time homebuyers know a lot of first-time homebuyers, and so if I educate you and you're at a at a cocktail party and you meet somebody and you talk to somebody else, then you have a good transaction with me, and you're happy with what I did for you, you're going to pass that on.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I like to do that is, number one, I like to take care of my clients, but again, that's not the only house I'm going to sell you. So 98% of my business is referral or repeat business.
No shit.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I will have a first-time buyer. I like to take them on because I have some first-time buyers that already own a house that when they bought it, they didn't have kids. So now this 1,200 square foot house with 3 kids, no, it's not. 1 bathroom, it's not going to work.
Hell no.
No. So as soon as I see that, I list that house and get it, and then I put in one of my buyers. And then everybody wins.
Yeah.
It helps everybody because now your competition's reduced. I'm getting you into a house, could be before it even goes on the market.
Wow.
But the thing is that, again, step one, be qualified, be ready,
Be
be
qualified,
on the
be ready.
sidelines, be on the sidelines because that coach calls on you. Hey, you're ready.
Yeah. If the coach calls on you and you're in the locker room,
Yeah. You're like, I can't find my helmet.
what? I can't find my cup. Like, you ain't going out. Like,
Yeah. So that's the thing. I enjoy teaching. So the benefit to me sharpens my skills. It reminds me of why I do this business. And honestly, in 1974, somebody helped my parents buy a house, and I see what it did for us.
yeah.
And I always give back. To me, that's the biggest thing.
Well, also too, your industry changes all the time.
It does.
So
It does.
I mean,
on a daily.
the fact that you deal with first-time home buyers and it helps you solidify new information that's happening.
And because what happens when you're kids, right? You think everybody on the street owns their house, and then you come home.
If you live in a house.
Yeah, if you're on the street.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they moved out, and they're like, there's a new family in there. Like, what happened to them? I thought everybody owned their house when I was a kid.
You didn't
I didn't know
realize
there
people
was
were renting.
renters.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was renters. But see, those renters probably got pre-qualified, were ready to go, and they were in a position to make it happen.
And then they made it
And
happen.
then they made it happen. Boom, they moved out. Everybody's on a different
like it.
tier.
All right. Let's jump back into just a few more comments. We got some great people up here. Appreciate everyone. My friend now owns 5 condos in Nashville. Wow.
Yeah, killing it.
5 condos. And a condo in Nashville is like
Oh,
That's like a mansion out here.
Well, see, they have them in the high rises there in downtown.
Okay.
Yeah. I look at those. I get, and that's the thing. That's what so I like looking all over the country. so I have emails that come to me from all over, and I just like to see pricing. I just like to see what do you get?
What's it going for over there?
Yeah,
What's it like over there?
what am I getting? Where am I at?
Oh, we got David.
Downtown's California prices though.
Subscribe. Looking forward to more of the 5 Foot Viking with Hob. Hey, thank you
David.
so
Thank
much. Honestly, it really. If you guys are watching, if you can subscribe, maybe like and share, the podcast, it would mean a great deal to me. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Nice.
Oh, my neighbor, he's upstairs in the champagne room.
Oh, there he is.
And Marlene is
in the green room.
in the green room. I love the humble beginnings in the house. Boris, I'm gonna pop my next beer. I love you, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with me.
There was one I saw. Let me see.
I know. I think I saw Karen. Wow, Karen, how are you? Long time. Great information. Thanks, guys. Absolutely. I appreciate you hanging out with us.
There's so much information.
That's the thing. We
It's
talked
so
about
much.
this earlier, is that, we've literally dived into just maybe 2 topics and literally skimmed the top of it.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about a contract. We haven't talked about, curb appeal. We haven't talked about, we haven't talked about nothing, but just the little bit that we have, I hope that we've given some insight, and, before we bounce out of this, I think there was one thing I just wanted to talk about next. The last thing that I thought I would leave you guys with would be,
we still got 22 viewers.
yeah, we still have. I love the fact that
Still
you guys are
20.
watching. I appreciate it. I hope that we're giving you guys some value right now. But what I would talk about is, I think the last topic that I would like to kind of touch on is just a couple. Boris, where are we at here?
Boris said that he couldn't write a home policy because of the 2 previous claims on the house is due to 2 suicides in the house. So yeah, it's 7 years apart. And the thing is that, again, if you're buying a bank-owned property, all they did is wipe the blood down and boom, and now they don't have to tell you anything about it. They don't know. You don't know.
But
I sold
agents
one like
have
that.
to-
It was haunted. I sold a haunted house.
Come on, dude! You sold a haunted house?
I sold a haunted house in Pomona. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And they called me like a year later and like, Javier, we want to list the house. And
No
I go,
way.
I go, why? She's like, I've stayed here like 3 nights.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What, did they know about it going into it?
No, because it was bank owned. And we didn't know it. So the deal.
Did you know about it?
No. So the deal
Liar.
closed. No. The deal closed. What happened is that like one of the neighbors, like a week after, came over and she goes, hey, you guys bought this house? Yeah. Well, this drug dealer shot himself in there. What? Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like they were hearing things already and that just kind of confirmed it.
Oh,
So when she called me, I'm like, well, I got to say it's haunted. So I don't know if you want to use me.
yeah. All right. Oh, so real quick before my wife. Tell more. Oh, yeah. More about the
Hey,
haunted
24
stuff.
years of selling that I've
Here's
come
the thing.
across a lot.
One thing you got to know about my wife is that she loves the haunted stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that I get scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta sleep with a nightlight and stuff. I can't hang with that stuff. Mo Reese, outstanding podcast with Javi. Got you. Yeah.
Oh
Excellent.
yeah, brother. No, do it. I love giving back. I love
Absolutely. And you and Mo will definitely connect. He's just such a good dude, just like you are.
Cool.
You guys would really work well together. So, Maurice, I love you, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here, man. So real quick, I know we went over, but I hope you guys don't mind. There was one thing I wanted to talk about, and if you're okay with it,
Yeah.
If we could give anybody, I know we talked a little bit about being in the right place, checking, getting qualified and seeing where you're at. So if we could leave people with 3 tips to, if you want to, and I think I wanted to structure it more towards buying a house, because if you want to list, I know you can go and find listing and do qualifying questions and stuff, but especially here in Southern California, if you want to buy a house, some of us just feel so overwhelmed, and I'm saying us because me 100%, I still feel so overwhelmed. I know that the first step is go get qualified, go figure out where I'm at, take the snapshot of where I'm at, and figure out where I have to go. What would be a couple other, non-loan questions? What would be some questions or some tips that you would give?
I would say prepare yourself for the payment.
Okay.
So let's say you do get qualified and you're like, hey, well, I could buy a house. My payment could be $2,400, and your rent right now is $1,600, right?
Yeah.
And for that next year, try and save $2,400 a month,
Yeah.
because that's exactly what's going to happen. Why would you jump into a payment and not know if you could really do it? And do you want to?
Yeah. Maybe I like where I'm at.
Yeah, maybe I'm cool. I'm okay, and I I'd rather have those extra $800 a month. But can you save 800? And at least you don't screw up your FICO score or anything.
You're like, well, I can.
Because then you'll be calling me in 6 months. Hey, I got to sell that.
See what had happened was. Remember when I was 740? Yeah, now I'm 470.
Yeah. So I mean, that is a big step.
Okay.
That's a big step that you can do on your own. You don't even need my help. You just, can I do it? And on around those same lines is the budget.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips for being able to budget yourselves? Do you use any apps like mint.com or anything like that?
I don't, but I'm looking into that. I don't. I think what we can. I did this exercise the other day. I don't know if I told you, but my coach told me, how much do you want to make? And then I came up with the number. And then she said, great. On paper, I want you to spend it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Spend it. Yeah. Okay. So I spent it with $50 a week playing golf, and my haircuts, but
that was like $0.
Zero. Yeah. No, the razors are expensive. But I took everything into consideration. Steps, nails, how many times do you go get nails? Do you want to get a massage? What do you want to do? But what do you want to do?
Yeah.
That you're not doing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what would you put into your life today that you're not doing? Because maybe you want to go to the chiropractor every 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yes.
But you can't afford it right now. Mm-hmm. But let's figure it out. So this exercise, after I put everything in, right? After I put everything in, I still had like 40 grand to spend.
Wow.
40 grand from what I thought.
Yeah.
But I was 90 grand from what my goal would be. So realistically, doing everything I wanted to do, doing, putting money away, doing this, having enough, buying 2 houses that way, in Oklahoma that way. By doing all that, I still had $40,000 extra dollars. And it made me realize, shit, where's that money at?
Yeah.
Like, I do have it. And I think that's what people are going to realize when you do that. It's a simple exercise.
That's awesome. Is there, I know that's from your coach, but is there, I'll tell you what, maybe I can link down to her coaching site.
Is she
exclusive?
She's with an organization. Yeah. She's with the bigger organization.
She's look at you.
Yeah.
Like you're all badass. No, but I think that's awesome because one of the reasons why I think that you're so successful in what you do is because you have been a constant student. Yeah. Always.
And and just like I tell you, be comfortable with the real estate agent you choose and be comfortable with the answers that you're getting. She's my third coach. Yeah. Because the other 2, I was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
No. She don't let me get away with nothing.
Wow. Oh yeah. She holds you accountable.
Oh, she holds me accountable.
Okay, cool.
And that's really what you want to do and go from there. I'll hold you accountable.
Yeah.
I'll hold you.
I know.
If that's what you want to do, and do it.
Yeah, I know.
Send me $800 extra a month. I'll save it for you.
That I loved about our relationship in the past 20 years, that you've always been just a real guy. You don't blow no smoke. It is what it is.
I learned a long time ago, and this happens a lot. Going to see the band or doing my personal things. I don't talk business.
Yeah.
And I've learned that I don't share my business. So if you come to me and I'm not going to tell your friend how much you make, what your credit score. That's between us. And I've done that so well that, I've had friends go, I didn't even know you sold real estate.
Absolutely, bro.
I had one friend tell me, he goes, Javier, we've known each other 2 years. And he makes a lot of money, this guy. He goes, we've known each other 2 years. You've never asked me to do business with you. I said, no. Because that's not my relationship with you.
Yeah.
Now, if he comes to me and asks me,
hey, what are you doing?
let's do it. Yeah.
Cool.
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock,
Trust
I'll
me.
meet you. Right?
I got a shit ton of stuff for you.
Right. Got a truck full of stuff.
Right.
So,
Oh, all right, cool. Well, let's. We got a couple last comments right here. We got Alex. Vikings were known to barter, explore, and where.
Wait, you're always exploring how to better yourself.
Where great warriors? No, they were great warriors.
Yeah.
You're always exploding. You better yourself. I love it. Thank you, buddy. Skull.
Hey, Alex, I see you're fixing your house, man. If you're ready to list it.
Yeah. Skull, my friend. Much love, Skull. If there's anything I've learned about this podcast, it'll be that I need to work on my reading skills. Especially because sometimes there's like grammatical errors and I read it like I'm like Ron Burgundy where I will read it verbatim what it
So I'll teach you a little trick.
Yeah, please.
Read it first and then say it.
Read it first and then put it up?
No, read it first and then say it. So like right here I'm thinking, right?
All right, well, let's do something smaller. Let's do a smaller comment. Let's do my dad's comment. So let me read it real quick. Okay. So my dad says, so musicians tell musician jokes. Tell a real estate joke. Wow, that was good.
Right?
I was really
Does
good.
that help?
That does help. The problem is, I'm a dude up here trying to stay and get, like, I got so much going on. Plus, I'm drinking 11% beer. There's a lot going on up here, and there's not much to work with. So, Dad would love for you to tell a real estate joke. And here's the thing about my dad. My dad was telling dad jokes when he was 12. So, like, he is all about the dad jokes and this stuff. So, if you have a real estate joke, my dad would love it. Thanks for putting him on the spot, Dad.
I don't. Why didn't you ask that before?
Yeah, why didn't you put that up on Facebook, Dad? I love you, Dad. Okay, you know, I'll tell you what. Email Javi, and he will email you a all right, let's see if I can
my sister.
Which one? Here we go. Okay, you know, I haven't read. I'm gonna let you read it because you probably read it already.
My sister wrote, if you think owning a home is out of reach, it isn't. This guy here told me, which is me. And so I did, and she's been in a home now for 5 years. Yeah, she thought it was out of her reach.
No way.
And we made it happen.
That's so awesome. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do is... Chuck Dizzle. I didn't read this one, so I'm just going to go for it blind. Right. Hey, guys, Dorothy and I love you. And special thanks to Javi for helping us lately with our questions regarding owning in Florida. Oh, my God, bro. You're looking at Florida?
I love it.
Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, bro, I'm super excited for both of you. That is so cool.
Right?
Wow.
That's cool, huh?
That is really cool. Chuck, I'm going to reach out to you, man. I want to talk to you. That's super dope. Wow. I'm impressed. And you know what? And that's so cool that that's the whole reason why you're here is because you just love helping people out. So I'm going to see this. I'm going to try and read. This is a long comment, but I want to read it first.
Don't read the whole thing. Just read like the first couple lines.
Okay, I'm going to read the first couple lines. It's going to take me 16 minutes, but you know what? I'm just going to dive in. I can't even read it. Maurice, I love you, buddy, but you write way too much, dude. You got it.
That should have been an email.
I would advise buyers to be. I can't even say
cognizant.
that. Cognizant. What does that mean?
Conscious.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm not that smart. Of the money going into and out of their accounts. Yes, that is 100. There's times that I will literally go buy something and purposefully not check my account because I don't think there's enough. And I don't want to know about that. And then if the purchase actually goes through, I'll check my account afterwards and be like, where am I? I should really.
That's not good.
No, that's not good. I should really be better about that. And if they plan to use mattress money as a down payment, it's got a season.
And we got ways around that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Email.
Yes.
No.
Please, Mo. You got to connect with my buddy. All right. You know what? I think we're good right now, buddy. I think that's it for the comments right there. Or is there more? Nope, that's it. That is it right there for the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a great place to end. But before we end, let me pull this up.
Oh, we didn't ask the question about next week's guest.
No, actually. Oh, you know what? We didn't. But I'm going to talk about this guest real quick.
Yeah.
And pull this up. This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let me screen share this. I'm still learning the platform, ladies and gentlemen, but application window and share. There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me next week on Tuesday let me hide this real quick. On Tuesday at 7 p.m. here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. My guest is going to be one of my good friends for multiple years, Mr. Matt Munoz. Matt owns his own solar company, and we're going to be talking about solar, which I think when we move forward, because like I told Javi, this isn't a one podcast conversation. Javi is absolutely going to be a reoccurring guest, so we can talk about more. And while you're here and while you're watching, if you can please shoot me an email, shoot me a comment, a text, a message. Let me know if there's questions that you would like to know more about. I would love to have another conversation, another podcast with Javi, and dive into those specific conversations. But I know this topic is actually something that we should talk about in the future, about real estate and being able to buy and sell homes that have solar. So next week I'm going to be talking with my really good friend Matt Munoz. He owns his own company, Net Energy, and we're going to be talking about solar in Southern California, what it costs, how you can make it happen for you, what you can save, and how if it's something that you should have in your life. So looking forward to that. Let me stop that screen share. I'm still learning how to do this. I swear to God. This is my fourth podcast. Okay. So I'm still learning. So I'm really looking forward to that podcast as well. Moving forward, I'm just trying every podcast that I have. I'm just trying to do something bigger and better, whether it's better lighting, understanding the platform better, having a guest, interacting with the guests more. I want to give this 5-foot Viking a fair shake and move forward. So final question. Did you have fun tonight?
Yeah, I did.
And what could we do better next time? Come on, dude. Be real with me, dude. You're the real guy.
Honestly, the setup you got here is good. I know that when we were doing your Cuba one last week, it was great. The audio was perfect. And the way you're interacting, I mean, for you being one guy, that you're doing good.
Okay, so what you're saying is I need another guy.
Tell Edgar to shut his down.
Yeah. All right, Edgar,
come back.
You gotta be on this one.
Over here.
You gotta be on this one.
He'd be the 10-foot Viking.
I'm the 5-foot Viking. He's the 10-foot Viking. All right. We got just a couple last minutes.
We still got 21 people. Nice.
I love the fact that you guys are still hanging with us. Okay, with much love and respect. Te felicito. That means congratulations, I think.
Yeah.
In Spanish.
He felicitos you.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty good with that. Yeah. Boom. My sister,
Boom.
Shivani. I love you. Skull.
Good luck. Skull. Oh, the beer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's so good. You only drink one.
Well, yeah.
Cynthia.
Talk to people.
Cheers. Skull.
Cynthia. Nice. Another member. Of
Another
my team.
member.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
he's gonna do big things.
I never thought you'd ask. I love you, Edgar.
Edgar, get down here.
Edgar. Yes. I'll tell you what. If I ever get to the point where I need someone to do something, he is the gentleman I'm calling. Like 100%, I'm calling that guy. And it's not about because Edgar has a great podcast. He's got the Ed Namrock podcast. Actually, Edgar, I'm going to plug you right now. Edgar's doing a podcast, and the fact that he's watching me right now, I'm just so blessed, and I'm so grateful the fact that you're hanging out, because I know that right now you should be prepping for your podcast, which is coming up at 10:15, if I'm not mistaken, 10 o'clock or 10:15, 10 o'clock on the Ed Namrock podcast. And Edgar podcast. So this podcast is my 4th podcast, and I do it by numbers. It's just easier to follow.
Right.
It's the 5 Foot Viking podcast number 4. And then underneath it'll say like with Javier Guerrero, and we're talking about this and blah, 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 and all that stuff. He's on like podcast, 100 and something, like 180 something or 130 something. I don't know how, like, he podcasts so much. It's incredible. The fact that he knows all about this and does all this stuff, and he gets different guests and they talk about different subjects and they do. And I freaking love it. I'm going to put this up here because I love you, man. The Funak podcast.
There you go.
Love you, buddy. And
Just don't get his football picks.
No, you know what? I love the
Or
guy.
UFC.
But
You see, he picked all the losers last week.
I love that.
Saturday?
It's so
Did you
funny.
see that?
Did you see that too? Edgar, I'm just gonna tell you, bro. I screenshotted your predictions for the fights, and then I watched the fights, and I'm like, wow, Edgar sucks. like hey, you picked all the wrong ones.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. 5 Foot theme song. You know what's funny? I wrote one.
No.
Yes, I did. I totally. Chuck. Yeah, I wrote one and I recorded it by myself. I recorded the drums. This is how stupid I am. And I went into the recording studio. We have a rehearsal studio in Downey, and I went in there and I took my setup that I have and I sat down at the drums and I put a click track in, and here's my thing. I wanted to at the beginning of the podcast we have a 30-second countdown.
Right.
Now it's 30 seconds is not enough time, because usually sometimes you'll see it click into this, and I'm trying to share it because it goes to the 5 Foot Viking Facebook, and I want to share it to my personal Facebook as well. So I want more people to see that it's there. So, but 30 seconds is not enough to open up Facebook, see that it's there, share it, tag some people and say hi and whatever it is, it's just not enough time. So I figured if I made a video that was the 30-second timer and then a 30-second intro video of like
give you a minute.
So I've got a full minute to get this done before it goes live, right? So that's what I'm working on right now. But I recorded this song and it's so stupid, but I'm totally going to use it because why the fuck not, right? It's the beginning stages. So be ready for that in the next couple of weeks. It's not good. I'm just going to give you 100 right now. It's not good. So we got I love that we got a couple more people jumping up here. So yes, Chuck, it's coming. It's going down. MMA picks. Yeah. You're absolutely right. They were horrible. They were ridiculous.
So I'm on the.
Oh, you were on that?
Yeah.
So you watched everything?
No, I watched the like my picks.
Yeah,
like pretty good on it.
Okay, so
I didn't post them like he did.
Follow him. Yeah, you didn't follow his picks. So, you know what? I'll tell you what. I will. And Frank, buddy, I need your help, dude. I need your help making some video to back it. So, but yeah, it's horrible, but it's gonna happen pretty soon. So, let's. I think we're good.
Yeah,
I think we're good. So you know what, ladies and gentlemen, Just want to thank you guys for hanging out with the 5 Foot Viking. I want to put my hands together for my good friend Javier Guerrero.
Yeah, thank you for
Once
having me.
again, let me throw this down here just in case if you guys need it. Please, if you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to Javi. He's a great guy and he will answer anything that you guys need to know. So, with that being said, Skull.
Oh, I forgot to even mention.
Just kidding.
I didn't even mention EXP
Yes.
trades on the stock
Please.
exchange, and so the stock is going crazy. So
Wait, so your company is actually on
yeah,
the stock exchange as well?
yeah. So if anybody wants to invest, it's a
Okay.
good time. Good time.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
I'm also going to before we bounce, I'm just going to say that right now in the links down below there's not a lot of there's the description, but there's not a link. So give me about a half hour. I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to edit it and put links to Javi, to his email, to his website, to his Facebook, to his Tinder, to his you don't have a Tinder.
No,
you know, okay. You know,
Shut it down.
so I'll make sure that you guys have opportunities to get a hold of Javi anywhere you need to, ask any questions, and feel free to reach out to me too if you want to get connected. And yeah, thank you guys so much. So here we go. Skull.
Cheers.